Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to Wordy Weirdo. My name is Kaylin. Today we are going to be talking about my, reading plans for the rest of this year. I know that it's the middle of February, so like most people have their reading plans laid out back in January, and I did too. I had like a really good idea of here's how I'm going to structure all of my monthly reads, and here's how I'm going to handle XYZ. I had these really big ambitions, and then I kind of hit a point where I said, you know what, reading has stopped being as fun for me as it once was, and I need to take a moment and take a step back. So that's what today is about. Today's goal is really to discuss out loud so that I can say it for myself. I really hope you can't hear them like shoveling the sidewalk out there because it's kind of obnoxious, but we'll find out later, I guess. Um, Geez, oh Pete. But I really want to fall back in love with reading the way that I used to, the way that I would just kind of engulf myself in a story for hours on end and be lost to the rest of the world, where it would be a joke about how, of course, I'm reading as much as I am. And so, my new goal is to stop trying to force reading as, jeez, my new goal is to stop trying to force reading. I guess that's just where we can end it. I was gonna say, as a career, as a specific like income idea, I'm at just the point of I'm just gonna stop trying to force reading. What does that look like? That looks like being honest about wanting to mood read. That looks like being honest about where I'm sourcing my books and what I'm getting. And that's being honest about if I'm not gonna read this book right now, there's no reason to buy it right now. Um, I I don't know, like I'm trying a new thing. I don't want to say that this is guaranteed how this is going to go because, it's February and things can change in a month or so, or even a couple weeks from now. But I really want to stop purchasing new books. I don't mean go on a book buying ban. I mean I want to be getting my books from the library and purchase books I love. Purchase the books that either I loved reading at the library or from an author that I know. Like Marie Lu is coming out with a new book this year. Absolutely, I'm going to buy that. I'm probably going to buy Sunrise on the Reaping when that comes out. But I need to stop buying books from authors that are not guaranteed that I'll love. Um, and so I've actually got a little stack here that I wanted to share that kind of talks through this process in my head. And this is kind of where my brain was starting to go when I was saying, I really want to read more, but I'm not drawn to the books at my shelf. And it's not because I want to buy new books. I genuinely am not as invested in reading those books. I have other books I've been wanting to read instead. So these are some books I'm going to start to get rid of. And I say start to get rid of because there's a couple in here that they might be soft get rid ofs. They might be soft DNFs. Um, because I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to try picking it up again later. The first one is The Hexologists by Josiah Bancroft. I've tried to start this book like two or three times now, and it's a gorgeous cover. It sounds really fun. It sounds really cozy. It's not hitting. I've tried to start it so many times and I can't get myself to get through more than 50 pages. So I think I'm just going to set this book aside and I'm going to say, you know what, when I go to sell books next or um when I go to donate books next, this can go in that pile. It's not necessary. The other book that I'm going to be getting rid of guaranteed is Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola. I know that this book is beloved, and I'm not saying it's a bad book. I'm saying I don't think the college drama is something that I'm actually invested in reading. I don't love the I can't date them because of my image mentality. Um, and that's really what this book is kind of all about is a fake dating because situation and I can't tell people that I am actually falling because situation. Like that's not really my style. And I've heard wonderful, wonderful things every time I think about starting this book again, because I'm like, oh, if I'm in the mood for a romance, I should start Honey and Spice again. I should try that one again. I just get a knot in my stomach. I just don't want to. So it's fine. It's fine to say I don't want to. I can just put this aside. The next three are I don't know if I'm actually going to give up on them. I don't know yet. This one kind of hurts that I want to give up on. Among the Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston. I really love Ashley Poston's writing. I actually have two of her books in my earrings right now. And not just her adult romances. I really loved the Geekarella trilogy. That's what introduced me to her. I started this one and it feels too much like a middle grade, and middle grade is not my favorite. So I'm gonna put it aside for now. I'm gonna put it aside, and then if I decide to come back to it within the next month, I will try it. But if I don't, I'm not interested, I will sell it. A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I want to love this book. I have so many feelings that this could be a phenomenal book. It's a gorgeous cover. It just looks like the dark academia of my soul. I got 15 pages in and went, what on earth am I reading? And I don't know that I have the strength this year to get past this, and I don't know that I want to keep it in my collection for a year or more to see if I ever get the strength to get past the lovely info dump of the beginning. So I'm going to put this aside for now. We'll see if I ever come back to it. I may sell this and then if I want to read it, see if I can get it at the library and then rebuy it if I'm that in love with it. And then the last one kind of hurts my soul because it's so pretty, but The Wren in the Holly Library. So I have this one and Heavenbreaker. Heavenbreaker I got a good chunk of the way through, and I was actually really enjoying it, and then I was like, I'm not in the mood to read this right now, I need to put it aside. This book I got a good 35-50 pages into and was not actually super enjoying it. And every time I think of picking it up, I just roll my eyes at the thought of the writing style, and I need to just accept that I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read it. I might put this aside for a little bit, and then at some point if I decide, oh, this is something, again, I think what I'll do is I'll sell these books and then I'll get them from the library if I want to see if they're any good, and then I can buy them again, because even though this one is gorgeous, of course, we do love the art, it's just not worth my time right now. And that's, I think, what it really comes down to for me right now, is that I don't want to waste my time reading books that I'm not excited to be reading. So I'm going to try to change things up a little bit, and I'm hoping to take this along with me, this journey. I'm hoping to record my journey of falling back in love with reading and showing the books and showing me putting books down that I'm not invested in, and showing me going to the library instead of going to the bookstore, and falling back in love in those ways. That's my real goal. So I'm kind of recording this video as a hold me accountable mentality. I know nobody's really watching me. I know I'm really small. This is only my second video that I'm really posting and trying to keep up with. But I guess I'm just hoping that this will hold me a little more accountable, that I feel like I have to continue to showcase what I'm talking about. So thank you for listening, for those of us who are here, and I will see you in a couple weeks. Bye.